I think that, of course, when you reach times that require a lot of resilience, sometimes it's hard to reach for the joy.
I think that's where it kind of connects for me is trying to realize that the end of this journey brings me that joy and will bring them joy as well as they look back.
I mean, that's the joy in writing. It's really that you are trying to find a way to make things accessible to people.
Joy and resilience, how do they fit together for you? And where do they maybe not match up?
Well, I think that, of course, when you reach times that require a lot of resilience, sometimes it's hard to reach for the joy. Things have happened that we would not have chosen for ourselves or for our friends. And that's just, part of life. Have you ever read an adventure book where they planned it all out and that everything went exactly to plan and it ended fine? That would be a lousy adventure book, right? So at some point we have to recognize, this is an adventure and things do go south and sideways sometimes. But you've got to keep the sense of adventure alive in it when it goes, what is the best I can do with where I am? And when I can switch from woe is me to, okay, here we are, then that's a time that suddenly I can start to take joy in my progress in what they call profluence. If you listen to Mike Hill, profluence is a literary term and it's the sense of the plot moving forward. And when things are moving forward, you get a sense of joy and adventure with it. But when things are stopped, when you lack profluence, then it's harder to be resilient. So I think the biggest thing I could recommend for people is, watch your sense of profluence, see where you are. How do we move forward from this position? We can't choose where we start, but where's the adventure going to go next?
Where should the adventure go next, Melissa?
Yeah, I think for me, joy and resilience, as I think about the things that bring me joy, with mentoring and coaching folks, sometimes, right, people are probably the hardest to change, or to encourage, or to give them guidance. And so I think, having resilience to help, a longer journey, and to help folks when they've, fallen down or, fallen backwards or, whatever the case may be. I think that's where it kind of connects for me is trying to realize that the end of this journey brings me that joy and will bring them joy as well, as they look back. But I think having some resilience at times to help folks through that journey, is important. So,
Jeff, as you've been writing clean code bits and pieces, you've probably run into a lot of resilience and joy blockers. What helps you connect those, and how do you bring it out for the people who read what you write?
Wow. Okay, there's a question. Not really sure how to begin answering that. How do I connect joy and resilience? I don't know. Tim, go ahead. Go ahead and
Let me
interrupt. That'll help me think a
let
little.
me give you a minute to think. So, by the way, Jeff is a serial author. He has written, I don't know how many books now.
Um,
Uh,
Five and some halves.
5 or 6. So we were co-authors of Agile and Flash and co-authors of Clean Code. And he's got a whole bunch of books with it's just one name on the front, and it's Jeff Langer. And the TDD for Java, a number of really, really well-respected books. So I know for a fact he gets a kick when people actually read what he writes.
Yeah, that's even better when people pay to read what I write too.
And when they understand it.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's the goal, right? Is to help. I mean, that's the joy in writing. It's really that you are trying to find a way to make things accessible to people. So just as a brief touch on joy and resilience, I did write a book. It's called Pragmatic Unit Testing. It's like the second edition it was in 2015 of the original Andy Hunt and Dave Thomas book from like 2003, and they're like, okay, rewrite this book, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I even agree with the way it's presented. It's not really test-driven development. It's after the fact unit testing. So my thought was, let me do the best I can with it. And obviously it wasn't really as best as it could have been, because I got some comments like, yeah, we're not sure what you're trying to do in this book. So the joy was I did get a chance to come back and have another stab at it, almost 10 years later. Was allowed to write a third edition, rewrite it, to try to make it as engaging as possible and accessible as possible. And feedback's good. Book sales are down, so there's another bit of thing that you have to have resilience against. Is how do we survive as writers in this climate? So there's all these things that kind of come back and forth as a writer. You get blocked at times. You get things out there that people aren't happy with. The joy is in finding the little bits of feedback that you get from people that suggest they are actually getting value out of. People are really excited with the way you presented things, how you help them understand or learn things.
Matthew, what helps you find all those little bits of joy in the midst of despondency and people not reading what you write?
Uh, well, one, finding the people who do is always nice, and having the conversations and having this conversation sort of thing. But also, I really do. I connect in a lot of ways, and thank you for having this conversation, because it really made me realize that I connect joy and resilience as kind of two sides of the same coin in a lot of ways. That if something is too easy, if there's nothing to be resilient about, then there's not nearly as much to celebrate when it does go right.